All right, hello. Gonna do a demonstration video of the new system that everybody has been hearing about. That where we're basically combining all of our systems into one. Hopefully, a system that's a lot better and one that everybody likes, and that really improves things for our company. So the purpose of doing this is I want to do a basic demonstration and just show everybody how the system works. At this point, there's been a few people that work here. Myself, Stephanie, Ashley, Penny. I think Amy has seen the new system. But again, I just want to show everybody the basic functionality so they can see how it works. And when so when the first time they see it, they have an idea of what they're looking at. And we're at the point the system we're ready to start training. So I'm trying to set the foundation for the future training. Again, I think it's just important that everybody kind of gets a basic understanding of how the system works. Then the next purpose of doing this video is that the main benefit of what we're doing in creating this system is that we are merging all of our current systems into one. And we really have, 5 different systems: lead management, which marketing uses; customer management, which the customer service department or renewal department uses; the scheduling system, which links to lead management, customer management, schedules our appointments. Then we have our accounting system, Navision, and then the logistics system, which helps us manage same-day appointments. And again, the goal is to put everything into one, and I think it's really going to limit a lot of double work and make us a lot more efficient. And as part of that, one thing I'm going to demonstrate in this video is that now we're only going to have one customer account or customer record, for all the systems, because all of the systems are really just going to be one system. So, and I think people will see once I, do the demo how much easier that is going to be to work with. So, let me just, before we really get into this, tell everybody where we're at with this. I've been working for over a year with the Halden Group to develop this system. And, we're basically putting everything that's in LMS, CMS, logistics into Navision, our accounting system, and scheduling, which is probably the most important thing. But, we're over a year into this, and now I think it's about 90% complete, where, the software looks really good. It does just about everything we need it to do, and we're really ready to start training. So I anticipate over the next, 3.5 months, we'll be doing the training, and as part of that training, we'll find things that extra 10% that needs to be changed. So I would think when we're done with the training, sometime around October 1st, that we'll be finished with what I call phase 1 development. And phase 1 is really to getting the software to the point where it does everything that we currently do in all of our different systems. But again, we're going to put them into one system and try to improve all of the processes. After we hit the October 1st deadline where everybody's trained and it's ready to use, then we've got to focus in October on converting all the data that's in our current systems into the new system, which will be a pretty big project. And I anticipate November 1st that we'll go live and we'll be using the new system. So that's where we're at. We finally reached the point where I think it's ready to show to everybody. And so the first step with that is doing this video. And move on here. Anyway, and again, I really want to emphasize. I know I just mentioned this, but I really want to make the point that probably one of the biggest problems we have now with these current systems is really the way that they're just set up. In that, we have 5 different departments that use these systems: the marketing department, customer service, dispatch, our technicians, and our accounting department. And I guess you could throw in here Amy and scheduling if you include that as another department. But we have all of these different systems. They're all separate: lead management, scheduling, customer management, Navision. They're all separate systems. Now they're kind of linked together, so they work together, but still they're different systems. Same thing with logistics, which we'll use to manage the same-day appointment, And even our service tickets, which are really the record of our customer appointments, are kept in a separate system. We basically scan them and file them onto our network. So what we're trying to do is achieve something that looks more like this, where you have all of our different departments and then one system, which is Navision. And all of these departments just use one system. And within that system, what's very important that you only have one record or one account for each customer. And that's the only place where we manage customer information is on their account in Navision. So this is how this video is going to work. And again, I'm just trying to give everybody a very basic, overview of what the system does. But to do that, I'm going to create an appointment for an ICPC and show some of the functionality of how it would work, for the marketing department. Is their appointment, begins with a customer, a prospective customer calling in for service, and then ends with the completion of service. And then I'm going to, for a renewal appointment, I'm going to demonstrate how we start with the daily sheets that are going to no longer be actual sheets, but actually going to be a list, on the computer screen or on the monitor, and then go through the whole renewal process. And I think in that, I'll be able to cover most of the functionality that's in there, or a good portion of it, where people will get an idea how it works and will be better prepared when we start the training. So some of the concepts we're going to go through, and some of you may be familiar with some of these terms, some of you may not. Going to go through the customer service card, which is something that currently exists in Navision, and that is still going to be a big part of the new system. Going to talk about how the contract information is going to change in the new system for the better. Going to discuss a service order, which is going to be the document or a numbered document that flows through the system. And it's the way that we schedule an appointment and account for the service, which is going to be a new concept. But it's going to work really well, and I think it will, once everybody understands it, they'll like the concept and it'll make things easier. The new system does a much better job with being able to schedule multiple services for an appointment. We've got a new concept called the service item template, which is the list where we select appointments from. I'm going to go through that. Going to go through the way that we do the payments and installments for each appointment. That's going to be different than the old system, and I think everybody will agree it's a big improvement. We're going to go through the process of setting an appointment after we've compiled the list of services and the payment and installment information. Then we're going to go in and take a look at the appointment ticket that the technician's going to see, and see how the process of creating the service order is one and the same with the appointment ticket. Some other concepts, we're going to go through briefly same-day appointment issues. Because one thing, again, we're combining the logistics into this system along with all the other functionality. So there won't be any more going to the logistics system to update appointment information or about same-day appointment. It's all going to be done on that service order that I talked about before. Going to discuss how we're going to post the appointments differently. It's going to be a completely different process, but I think it's going to work a lot better. Again, I'm going to show how we're going to really eliminate the need for printed or keeping the service tickets or scanning them and putting them into the system, because the information is going to be stored electronically. And then I'm going to talk about, that won't be at the very end, but during the presentation, about our daily sheets and how, or the daily renewal sheets, and how they're going to go away and they're going to be in electronic format. And I know it's going to work a lot better. So before we get started, a couple points I want to emphasize. Number one, this is very basic. There is a lot of functionality in this system, and I'm going to try to keep this demo to right around an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want it to run too long, so I'm not going to be able to include everything. There's going to be more training videos to come in the next few weeks on the main topics that need to be covered. We're probably going to end up, I'm guessing, with somewhere between 6 and 10 training videos that people will view before and hopefully take notes before we actually get into individual training. And then also too, one point I want to make, this system is still in the development stage. And I said before, I think it's about 90% complete. Well, that other 10%, is a lot of stuff. And, I don't think we're going to be able to know what that 10% is until we have multiple people working in the system, training and testing and finding out what needs to be improved. So you may see some things that maybe I'll even say while I'm doing this demonstration that don't look exactly right. But that's okay. We know we're not at that point. It's just a matter of getting to where we've got the system completed the way we want it to. So anyway, that kind of finishes the basic overview. Now I'm going to go in and we're actually going to start in the new system. So first thing is, just like we log into remote desktop to use our current systems, and I'm going to log into the server where the test system is sitting, and I'm going to log as an administrator for purposes of this demo, and we're going to get started. Okay, down at the bottom here, you'll see here is the, it's pinned to the bottom menu here. This is where we open the new system. Okay, and when we log in, the first thing you'll see, and I know this is going to look very new and different to everybody, and I'm not going to go too in depth with this, but we're going to develop a system such that when it opens up, that people will have a button to click on, to get to the function that they want to start working with. So we have this one here for contacts, and this is really like the new homeowner list for marketing. So if they want to start going into the new homeowner list and looking at potential customers to work with, they would click here. I mean, it's not exactly where I want it yet, so I'm not going to click there at this point. If you wanted to go and start, working on information with a current customer, get into their customer service card, you would click here. Same thing. We're going to talk about service orders in a little bit. The list of service orders is here. This one here is the customer renewal info, which is the daily sheets. If you wanted to go directly to the daily sheets, you would go here. Up here, we've got the route sheet. If you were a technician, you wanted to print route sheets, you go here. This one here, service order detail, is the appointment tickets. You would click here. So again, first thing is you log in, you're going to know where you want to go, and you would click on the appropriate button here. Now, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the customer list, because I've actually set up some test accounts that we can use to demonstrate how we would set an IC. So I'm going to click here. Okay, and this opens up the customer list. I think the easiest thing to do would actually be to open a customer. I'm going to do that here. I just clicked on it, and then I set up one for testing purposes that we're going to go to and simulate a new IC. So here you see the go to button here, and I'm in the last name field. So we're going to search for this by last name. So here your last name, go to. Okay, and we get this one here, Paul Boblowski. Now there's a really detailed process to create a customer record from someone who is on the new homeowner list. Because one thing that I need to emphasize is, you see here, this is not a current customer. This is a prospective customer that the marketing department would be working with. And you see they have an account number assigned to them. Whether it's a prospective customer or a current customer, we are going to create a customer account in order to set the appointment. So that's one advantage of this system compared to the way we work now. Is there's not a separate system for lead management. There's not a separate system for customer management. These systems are one and the same. And so that's a very important concept. Now, this is the customer card where we keep the permanent customer information. You see name, address, we've got email address. I'm going to put my email address in here so I can demonstrate how the email functionality works. Put that in there, but you've got fields for phone numbers. If you wanted a separate field here for phone number, we could put that in. You see we've got the structure code. It shows what areas they're in. Now these have some different terminology, but they're Maryland customers for the MC, service zone code, MC4 area, and then the sub area 2. Got multiple fields for phone numbers. We've got a field here for notes. This is actually a note that will always appear on a service ticket. I'm going to put that in here for appointment ticket actually. So again, and if you notice, for those of you that are familiar with Navision, and I know the people that work in the marketing department are not, you see these tabs here at the bottom. These are the same tabs that we have in the current Navision system. We have just upgraded the software to a newer version of Navision, and we've kept all the same functionality that we have in our current system. So we have the same tabs for service, payment, credit memo, reports, and actually, real quick, I'm going to go to the current nav system. So, those of you that are familiar with that, here you got customer, basic customer information, service, payment, credit memo, reports, refund, notes. Now you go to this new system, and here you go. There's the same tab. So we're still working off the same customer card that's in the new system. Now the thing that's really new is the way that we're going to account for the current contract information. So again, if you notice here, there's no fields for plan type or expiration date or price, renewal price, or anything like that up here. It's all going to be here on this tab because we're going to be able to put in multiple plan types for a homeowner. And I'm going to demonstrate that now. So let's say that we've got someone from marketing who just started talking to this customer. And again, we're going to, just for this presentation, assume that we've already created the customer, account here, or prospective customer account. And then what the marketing department would be doing just to begin the process, they would be discussing types of plans, and they would be down here be putting, if the customer wanted, say, let's say they wanted a 1-year termite and pest, a combination contract. That's right here. Put that in, and they put a price here, and then when you get further into the process, we got a field here for date, for month, week, and month, week. And then let's say they also wanted a pet lovers as part of the process. So you're going to set up a 1-year pet lovers, and let's say that price is $249. Now the thing that's really important about this is that this will take the place, filling these fields takes in the place of everything that we do now with the import from lead management to customer management to Navision, because we're just basically now just going to fill in on this tab the type of contract that the customer wants. And since there's no import to be done, this is all you need to do. So once these are finalized, then my guess is the way the system or the process will work is Lori will go in and finalize the date, the month, and the month, week, and also the price and the type of plans that they have. So let's say right here to start the process, we put in the type of plans. We also have here for the marketing department to help track their information is contact info, and some of this will be filled in as we import, the new homeowner information. But you have import date, list type. Then we have some things with contact date, contact type. I'm not sure we'll use these fields that much, and I'm going to explain why, because everything's going to be done from a service order. So let me close this out. But so next thing, you get these fields filled in here, and then the next process to set, or really to begin the appointment setting process, you go to create a service order. And this is a very important concept in what this, one of the things that this system is really based on, is that, you know, you can, in order to set the appointment, you do create service order, and the service order has its own number. So it's almost like, think of it as like an invoice where it has its own unique number, and we'll be able to actually track and pull up the service order by this number. So, and also too, if you go back to their customer card, you can see here, it tells you how many service orders are open for a particular customer. So you can see that here. Okay, so I'm back on the service order. Now, let's say, we'll dive right into it and say, okay, we're going to schedule an appointment for service for this customer. Now, at the bottom of this screen here, we've already filled out, here's what's called their renewal info, or their basic contract data. And so this customer said they're interested in a termite and pest control and a pet lovers. So what we would do is, to set this appointment, we would go here, I'll highlight this. See here where it says line, this is a menu that we can use, that we're going to use. And so you go to line and select service item template. The service item template is a list of the services that we offer. So we click here and we've got a list of all of our services. So again, they have said that they want a 1-year termite and pest plan. Here it is right here. I've just highlighted it. I hit OK. And it appears on our service item lines. This is going to be a list of all the services that we're going to perform for this particular service order. And so you can think of this as we're creating an appointment ticket, because that's what we're doing. Now, they've also said that they wanted a pet lovers service. So we go back here to the service item template, highlight here. Whoops, actually I wanted to highlight here, this line here is what I really wanted to highlight. But anyway, but you go to line, I'm going to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, line, service item template. Okay, let's find the 1-year pet lovers service that they wanted, and that's right here. We hit OK. Okay, we hit refresh. Okay, notice that this is here. Now, here we have this field, or this portion of the service order here, the service line details. This is where we have set up within the code functionality to add up the prices of everything here and come up with a total service charge. We are also from here going to put in the payment information and the installments. So you're creating the list, it's summarizing here as far as dollar totals, and then here you will create installments to figure out, you know, so the customer knows exactly how they're going to pay for it. Let's also, with this, let's go in and add a mosquito service for this, because I want to demonstrate how you can set multiple items. So here's the mosquito service. We add that. Hit refresh. Now, it was $615. You add the mosquito service and hit refresh, it changes to $714. So, you know, the system is going in and automatically computing, you know, how much, you know, the total service is. You know, and if you wanted to for this, let's say, you know, they want the pest control and they said, you know what, and I'm having a problem with ants. We could also go in to the service item template and add a pest control reservice. Okay. So that's listed here. So here we have 4 items listed 3 of them, there are dollar charges. And actually, we have functionality to give what a minimum down payment, what the customer would have to pay. And that's what it's saying here, that they need to put down at least $152.40. So we're going to go in right now and decide, okay, how are they going to pay this amount? If they wanted to pay at the time of service, we have this field called customer down payment. And this is the amount that they would pay, or at the time of service, the amount that they would give the technician. So that's here. If they said, okay, we want to pay $200 at the time of service, put 200 in there. Notice that the net amount changed from 200 to 514. This is the amount we're going to bill them. If they said they wanted to pay 300, change it there. That changes to 414. Now this next thing is something I really want the marketing department to see, because right now we've got a process that's very inefficient for taking PIA or paid in advances for credit card payments. Let's say we change the customer down payment to 0, or it automatically will default. You can't put anything less than the minimum down payment. But let's say that they said they wanted to pay the minimum down payment by credit card. What we would do is we would go here to this field here for, we would go here to the payment tab. And that's down here at the bottom. Let me highlight it so everybody can see it. Here we have payment. So you would click here. And what you do is you say what type of payment, which would be credit, payment method, and then you'd put an amount. Well, let's put in $152.40. Okay, we've got up here this command here, submit credit card receipt. You see here now we've got $152.40 payment, and it's asking for a credit card number, expiration date, and CVV code. I don't have this linked to a credit card system at this time, so we can't process it, but we can simulate it. So by hitting cancel, it'll simulate that the credit card has been submitted, and it'll ask me to invoice the payment, which is up here. So I invoice payment, and again, let me highlight that just so you can see it. Right there, invoice payment. So you press that and hit yes. Now you can see they've got $152.40 credit on their account. So in here we've got this line here for applied advance payment. What that means is we're going to use that $152.40 as a paid in advance. So you hit advance payment, click here, it's going to look for the payment. Now this is a little bit awkward, but it works. But you go here and put in negative $152.40, hit OK. Now you see they're using their applied advance payment of $152.40. You can make that 0. And so they've just made their PIA, and it's sitting here on their account. So that's all there is to it. We don't have to go to a separate system with a separate login, separate passcode. It's all right here. Notice too, real quick, speaking of logins, the system automatically tracks for a service order who the person is by their login. So again, I logged in as an administrator. The administrator set up in the marketing department, responsibility center. It's automatically filled in. Okay, so now we've got the payment information squared away. They've made their down payment, but let's say the customer has a coupon to use, and it's $20. We've got a field here for coupon amount, and then we've got a list here of coupon types. Say it was Facebook, and let's say the number was like 4444. You see, as I put in the coupon, the total charge dropped by $20. So it's now $694 with the $152.40 payment. So anyway, so that's what the customer is going to pay. And again, let's say then that $541.60, they said they want to break that into, let's just say it's 7 installments. Go here, click 7, automatically the installment amount computes. Let's say they change their mind and say they want to do 4. Now it changes to $135.40. Okay, the next step then when setting the appointment, we got some information here that we would fill out, like in regards to, say, target pest, mosquito, again, target pest, mosquito for pet lovers, say it's fleas and ticks. The other thing that we're going to be able to track from this system is, for commission purposes, is exactly who sold each item. So, like for this one here, let's say that it was, and this is separate from the person who creates the service order. Well, let's say Ashley is the one who set up the initial termite plan, and Ashley did the pet lovers, but maybe a technician sets up the mosquito. You can put that there. And then we have a field here for source, so we know where the actual the advertising source is. And again, this will give us the ability to track this information. Know exactly where our sales are coming from. So we have the ability to fill in everything there. Now, let's say here we see that it's the system. Just the way the code works is saying it's 1 hour for each appointment, for each item here, but we know we can do this in less than 1 hour. Let's say we think we can do it in 2, and that's what we're going to set it for. So here it's saying 1 hour based on what's added here. We're going to go here, right here, hours for allocation, and change it to 2. Okay, hit refresh. Okay, now it's a 2-hour appointment that we're going to set. So the next step then is to go in and actually set the appointment for a technician. Now, if you remember on the on the customer card, we had a field for notes. I'm going to show this real quick. Permanent notes that will go on the appointment ticket. We've got that, and they'll always be there. And this could be something like, customer. Whoops, I got to edit here. Say customer answers garage door or side door, something like that. Okay, but then we also have a note field here for this specific appointment that will go on the appointment ticket for the technician. And that could be something like, ants in kitchen, possible termites in garage. Then also we have a field for routing notes. These go to Amy, and this would be kind of behind the scenes as she finalizes the schedule. She could see something like this. And that's where it goes in routing notes. So we've got all this filled in. Now let's go in and actually set the appointment. And the way we do that, same menu as the service item template here. We're going to go in and find somebody to run this. Okay, well, here's a list of technicians who can run this appointment. And I'm going to actually set one as the same day so we can do some testing with the same day functionality. Okay, all right, but here we go. Let's say we set it for, here. All right, we got James at 5 o'clock. I'm selecting him, and I'm going to hit auto allocate hours. Okay, see now these 2 appointment times we're taking up, you have the 1s there. That is saying, okay, this appointment is allocated to James. I'm going to hit OK. Hit refresh. There we go. Now you see, okay, there's James at 5 o'clock. Again, we're looking at the service order. Here's that numbered service order, and there's it's again set for James. So let's go and look and see what the actual appointment ticket would look like. And so we go to service order detail, here. That's actually the new name of the appointment ticket. So you see what this looks like. You've got, here's the list of the services, target pests. We've got the list of the plan types that this customer is just, you know, saying that they want. Again, this is not a final list, but again, so that's what they're interested in. And then we've got these note fields. Here's the technician note specific for this appointment, ants in kitchen, possible termites in garage. And here's the permanent note that from the customer service card. Then you also have here their charge and payment information. You see the total, $714. It's got a coupon amount. It's got the coupon type, the code. It gives a net amount, and then it's saying they're paying with a PIA. So that the technician knows automatically it's a PIA. It's given the net service charge, and then it's 4 installments of $135.40. So that's what the appointment ticket would look like. So anyway, so that's as far as setting an appointment. That's how it works. Now let's, you know, since this was the same day appointment, you know, we would have to notify the dispatch department to let the technician know. So we've got functionality here and do that. If you see here, it says same day notes. This is a field where the person would then put in something like, and what we're trying to do with this is get rid of the whole logistics function where it's all done through Navision. So what they would do is they would click same day alert, yes. And this takes a few seconds for it to work. What will happen is it will create a, there'll be a list and also an email that's sent to each person in the dispatch department, where they'll then from that have the customer number with the MD, here we go, the customer number, the MD06131, or it's right here, and also the service order number. So you can see here, once it's highlighted in red, that means that notification has been sent. So let's go here to service order alert. Click here, and this is just a list. We've got a couple of them here, but you see here is the one that we just created. And it's got a customer number and a service order number. And I don't have it set up yet. One of the things on my list to get us to that final 10% is where they would be able to go directly to the service order. But the dispatch department would have the service order, the customer number. They would then be able to pull up this service order here and see, okay, this appointment was just set for James. I've got to get him on the radio and notify him to go run this appointment. So that also too is part of this. I'm going to go and pull up the email account of the email address that I just, okay. Here you have service order alert, and it lists every open service order alert. And you see here it has the responsibility center, which department, it has the customer number and the service order number and the same day alert. So this email would go to Penny, Laurie, Heather, Tammy, everyone in that department, in addition to the list that they could pull up. Also too, I forgot to mention, as we set the appointment, an email is sent to the customer with a list of all the service items and the starting and finishing time for the appointment. So it says it's got 4 different things here. We're going to start at 5 o'clock. We're going to finish at 7. That's automatic, just based on when you set the appointment. Okay. All right, let's say too, so marketing, let's say the dispatch department notifies the tech, he goes out and runs it. Now let's say that there's something that the dispatch department needed to notify the marketing department about. Well, we've got the same thing, we've got dispatch notes. They would maybe put something in like, tech running late. And again, this would be just to let the marketing department know the tech's running late. We're trying to call the customer just in case the customer calls in. Click this here. Same thing, then this alert is emailed to everybody in the marketing department. So, and not only that, but there's also a list that they could go and check, to see if there's anything going on with one of their appointments. This takes a little bit longer than I'd like. I'm gonna work on that. There we go. Okay, so that's in blue now. And you see, go here to dispatch alert, and here that is. So same thing, I've got to get a way to where you could automatically pull up this, open the service order. But if somebody in marketing went, open the service order, they see, okay, tech's running late, they're trying to reach the customer, they know what's going on. Again, I know we do that in the logistics system now, but with this, that would go away. So one other point that I forgot to make is we've got a field here for order date. That's the date that the service order is created. We're able to go in and get a list of service orders that we can track it by the day that they're created, in addition to, the person that set it up and their department. So now let's say the service was run and it was completed exactly as planned, is the way it was set up. So the dispatch department is now going to be doing the posting. We're not going to be submitting route sheets for paperwork purposes. It's all going to be done by the dispatch department. The technicians are going to call everything in. And the way that would work is the technician would call in, and he would say, okay, this is what happened with these services. But let's say that the customer said, you know what, I'm going to give you an additional $100 payment. So customer down payment, that's what the customer pays at the time of service. They would put that here. Now essentially they paid us $252.40. You see the installment amount changed, it dropped. Then you put in a check number and the MSC code, which we use for billing. Then we're adding another feature where we can track the service ticket information. So you open this application tab and we're going to put in the chemical information for what we use. So let's say for this we use Taurus, and let's say we use 5 gallons of it, and we put it in the yard, and we did it with a spray rig, and it was, say, 100 linear feet. And then let's say we put max force bait stations. Let's say we use 12 of them, and we put them in the kitchen. No linear feet there, and then really no application equipment. And then let's say we use one more thing. Let's say we used Phantom. Let's say we use 2. And let's say we put the Phantom in the garage. And say we used a B&G. Okay, so that's everything on the service tickets. Like I'm saying, we're trying to get away from where we have to ever access those printed service tickets. So we're putting everything in as the technician calls in the payments. And not only that, so we've got the application information, we've got all information for commissions, we've got target pests, we've got the total amount of the charge, payment plan, everything right here, all in one system. So the next step is we would post it to their account. This is where we create a permanent record. It's an accounting entry, and then we're able to bill the customer after we post them. So we hit post, hit OK. Okay, now we look. Let's go look at a few things. Let's go here to reports. Let's look at their statement. There everything is, all the services we did, and they have an installment of $110.40 due. Other thing let's look at their let me see, where is the posted? Here you go. Here's posted service invoice. This isn't exactly right because you've got to put in their account number right now. I need to get it where it comes up automatically. Okay, but here is the invoice that we just posted, or the service order. So you can see here's the permanent record we have in the system that has everything that would normally be on the service ticket. Here's everything that we did, target pests, everything of the service lines that are on the service order. Here's the total information, coupon, charge, how everything was paid, installment amount, and then here you have the application information, you have all the chemical information. So we're putting everything right here in this one system. The next step that would be done, and this would be done by Laurie once everything is finished, and I'm on their customer card right now, is she would go in here, and here's that contract information. It would be finalized here. Again, there's no import, none of everything we have to go through now. You would just go here, run reports to find out, if it was completed or not, and then fill in this information here. And you see here this field for renewal status. This will be used for the renewal sheets when we renew the customer in a year. So that's how, the basics with an IC, everything would flow. Okay, now I want to do one more, just for show one thing with a new or potential customer, how we would track service orders. Because as we all know, it's not always as simple as a, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up an account that I set up to test with. I'm putting in the account number here. So this is one that I set up, and I've actually already created a service order for this customer. But this is one, what we're simulating here is that we've created, we have a service order set up, but this customer has said that they're not interested at this time. They want us to call them at a future date. So you see here we got this field for next contact date here. We've also got different fields for statuses where that we could put in and say, okay, this is the reason we need to contact them at a future date, or we may just want to run a report by this status. So like here we got one. Let's say here, and I'm even going to remove the contact date. Let's say this one here is need signed contract. So put that in there. Okay, we've got here this button for service orders. If we wanted to go up and go in and say, okay, I want to review, and let's say it's Ashley. We're going to use her. She said, okay, we want to see all of the service orders that are open for Ashley. So what you could do is go in and put assigned user ID, A Carol here, hit enter. Now you see all the service orders for her. Well then, let's say that we wanted ones for Ashley that have the status of need signed contract. So then what we would do is add another filter for, say, the status 2. And these are ones that she could say, okay, need status 2. Go in and say, okay, need signed contract. So NSC. Hit enter. We got one that comes up that's saying, okay, need a signed contract. Let's say we wanted to get a range by next contact date. Here is next contact date. So let's say everybody that she needs to call during the month of June. We don't have any set up. I know we do under, let's change it to administrator. I think it's SPC. Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. So for this login SPC administrator, we could get a list of ones that call it next means call it next contact date. Here is the next contact date for the month of June. So we've got, if you go to, let's pull up an individual service order. Oh, actually, I'll pull up the one that we just were working with. I'm using order date because I created this service order today. I believe this one is here. I think this one's it. Yeah. So you've got a lot of different, I mean, I've just put in some sample things. I mean, these and a lot of these were also for the customer service department. But, it could be things like, reset appointments and marketing info, set outside spray. So you got all these different codes that we could go in and run lists of service orders, and that's one thing I'm trying to do with this is where, again, everything for a customer is done in the system. So this will help us to, track a lot of information. So I'm going to move on now. I said that as part of this that the second thing we would do, we would schedule a renewal appointment. And I'm going to do that now. Let me check the time, see where we stand here. Okay, I think I'm a little less than an hour. So we'll go through a renewal appointment. I got a couple things I want to demonstrate here. And I think, then we can wrap it up. So anyway, let me back up here. Customer renewal info. This takes the place of the daily sheets. We will no longer have to go through the process of printing daily sheets. And Lori, if you're listening to this, as you know, there's a spreadsheet that I give you, and then you do a mail merge from the spreadsheet and, create the daily sheets. That completely goes away. What we would do for the daily sheets is, and if you remember the information, setting up the contract information for that previous customer, go here to customer renewal info, and you see here we got customer numbers, contract numbers, month, weeks, plan statuses, plan types, price, renewal statuses, and service plan dates. So let's say we're going to work February week 1. You would type in 21 here, and here's a list of all the customers that are, have an expiration date that falls under February week 1, and this is where we would start the process of renewing these customers. We're not going to print anything on a piece of paper. We're going to go here and work this list and create service orders, for these customers. Let's say we wanted February week 2. I'm typing in a 22 here. Hit 22, a new list comes up. Now notice here that we've got statuses, TBRST, pending, produced, cancel. Those are the same ones that, that we use now. See this button here, renewal status summary? Highlight that. Whoops. Click this, put in the month, week that we're working, and then the area code. And this gives you a summary, tells you how many are canceled, how many are pending, produced, set. Think of all the work, Stephanie, Sharon, all the people, Carol, all the people of names I hear when Stephanie talks about creating the renewal inventory. This is it. I mean, your renewal inventory would be, what's pending and what's TBRST. It'd be for this, it'd be 9. That's all we'd have to do to compute the renewal inventory. That's going to be a tremendous time savings. So anyway, so let's go in and start and let's set some renewals. So anyway, I think there's one I want to work with here. I believe it's in February week 1. Where is it? Maybe not. Hang on. There's one particular account I want to show everybody. Yes, here it is. Okay, so let's pull this one up here. This one, okay, you see the status is pending. And again, put yourself in the shoes. You're in the customer service department. I'm assigned Maryland, February week 3. I'm pulling that up, and I'm working this one. They've got a 1-year termite only, $133. So you highlight this, you see this button here, create new service order, and that's what you're going to click. So you've created a new service order for this customer. And then what we're going to do is notice here under renewal info that this is pending. So we're going to go in through the process of setting the appointment through line, service item template. We've got here service plan renewal. Highlight that. So we've selected the renewal. It's sitting right there. Now, this is very important. See this here? It says renewal line. What we're doing with this is we are going in and we are connecting this service item to their actual contract. So we're saying this renewal is for this contract here. Now this is going to allow us to track the renewals through the system, and we'll always know whether it's produced, pending, TBRST, set, because we've connected it here. So we're just going to keep this one simple. Go to service line details, and let's just say that they're going to pay $40 down, and it's going to be at the time of service, and it's going to be 3 installments. Again, I put the customer down payment here. I said they want an installment plan, and I selected 3, so it's 3 at $31. Now, I'm going to go in here, service item template. Oh, it's not, sorry. Let me back up. I am going to go here. Again, this is the menu where we select the resource allocation to determine which technician is going to run it. So I go here and I say resource allocations. Okay, and we've got Luis, and we'll do it as if it's today. So let's say it's today at 5 o'clock. Hit auto allocate hours. See, now we've got a 1 in here. It's a 1-hour appointment. We hit OK and hit refresh. Now the appointment is set for Luis. You see here it shows up at the top of the service order. Now notice here, this renewal info has automatically changed to set. Just from setting the appointment, you didn't have to do anything to change it. If we go back to the customer renewal info list, and I believe this one was 23. Yeah, right here, it's automatically changed to set here. So by attaching the contract here to this service item, we're automatically tracking what's going on with this renewal. So let's say that we decided to reschedule it for an hour later. Go back to the same menu, this line here. Resource deallocations is the same thing as just removing the appointment time. Here it says, you want to deallocate? Yes. Hit refresh. Now you see this isn't scheduled for anyone. Go down here to their renewal info. Notice it's TBRST. Same thing, going to what the renewal info list, which is really the daily sheets. month, week, 2, 3. You see now this is automatically changed to TBRST. So we've got functionality in the system that based on if you're setting it, resetting it, or producing it, it automatically changes. Now I'm going to show you that next. Okay, so let's say we're going to set it again for an hour later. Again, we go to line, resource allocations. Okay, here's today at 6 o'clock, auto allocate. There's the one, hit OK, hit refresh. It's set for Luis. And like I said, you can even go look at the appointment ticket. See how it's set up, the 133, they're paying 40 down, 3 installments. And he tells you who it's set, assigned resource, Luis Portillo. So now let's go again. See, now it's changed back to set. So let's say now that, let's pretend that the appointment has been run, it's been completed. Actually, one other thing I want to show real quick before we show the appointment's been completed is I want to show you what happens when you try to set a pest control reservice for this customer. Because remember, they've got a termite service plan. So we've got the item here, pest control reservice. Notice you get this message that you can't set it because they don't have a pest control service plan. Again, you notice here going to their renewal info, it's a termite only. So we have functionality set up in the system to prevent a pest control reservice being set from somebody that doesn't have a pest control plan. So, but anyway, but let's go back. We're pretending the appointment's completed. It's been finished. We're going to put in whatever chemicals we used. And let's just say it was like an outside spray. Quantity used, just put like 2. Oops, not 200. Location, yard. And we're going to add more chemicals and better locations and all that, and application equipment as the time comes. Let's say it was 40 linear feet, not 4,000. Okay. Just put a note here, test notes. So anyway, so now they've called it in. Luis calls it in. It's completed. Payment information. We get a check number. Get the MSC code straight so we can bill them. And then we would go to post. And again, keep in mind, this is the account number. This status is set. As soon as we hit post, okay, we go back to the renewal info list. Here's this account. It's produced. Stephanie, as it is right now with our current system, spends 2 hours a day going into the route sheets and updating her system as far as what was produced and what wasn't. This will be automatic as the technician calls the appointment into dispatch and they post it. I mean, it's huge time savings. Not only that, the renewal status summary is automatically updated. So it tells you how many are produced, set. Again, so we're taking just a lot of inefficiencies and just work out of the system that doesn't need to be there. Let's go back to that customer account. Let's see here. Okay, now this is the one that we just did the renewal for, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, it is produced. Now, if we wanted, now again, I showed the the service order. Here we go. So again, we're storing electronically the actual service ticket information. You can see we did a renewal. Here's the dollar charge. You see here, here's the application information. We also have the ability to email this to a customer. So let me go in and put in my email address here. and we've got here send service invoice email. So this pulls up a list of all the service invoices for this customer. If you hit OK, it will send an email to this email address for the actual that service info information. It takes a few minutes. I'll pull it up in a second. But I think you can see that we're taking a lot of the information that's in different places and now and putting everything into one system. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to log out of the new system, and I'm going to go back here to presentation. Let's see, just a couple things I want to emphasize. Again, in summary, just kind of wrap this up, but again, this was very basic. Again, I'm trying to just kind of set the foundation for future training, but I think everybody can see that there should be some big advantages to, again, combining all of these systems. It was a lot more efficient. You were doing everything in one place instead of one system, or instead of multiple systems like we have now. And again, the one customer record, whether it's a marketing appointment, that's that'll be the first time we use that customer record. But then after that, everything will be on that same nav account. So it should be much more efficient. And I think I just heard my email beep. Yep, here's it is, the service invoice. Open this up. I don't know why it takes a second for this to open. What you're going to see, though, is a PDF of the service order that we have the ability to very easily email, if ever a customer, wants to see that information. Here we go. So here it is. You can see here's the chemicals we used. See who the technician was. You see the address, what we did. See their payment information, who set the appointment. All coming, from the new system. So anyway, like I said, I think we accomplished, again, the purposes of this video. Basic demonstration. I think we showed how, the benefits of merging everything into one system with one customer record. And, you're going to see more of these videos, much more detailed as far as what the system can do. And then we're going to do individual training. So appreciate everybody watching. And, I hope everybody has a better understanding of what we're, going to be doing with this system.